Hi, Janet.
Janet, and jury on 5 others, something like that. So what we have here is the underlying charge is that which in normal situations.
Hi, Janet.
Here's falsification of business
Yes.
records. Comes if it's done with the intent to violate a different. In this case, we are guessing. We don't know. That one of the possible other crimes they would be using could be a violation of federal campaign finance. So it brings a question as to whether or not a New York State prosecution for falsification of business records can be elevated to a felony based on an intentional violation of federal.
Oops, now we can't see you.
Sort of,
I know, I took the video off.
so
All right. Okay. Hello, Randy.
Hi, Randy.
Good to see you.
How you doing?
Getting stronger every day
Good.
on my shoulder.
Oh, look, it's a
Yeah,
kid.
my cat's got some attention. Hey, Daddy. Yeah, look in the camera. She likes to lay on my lap or my chest. What are you doing?
What you done wrong?
What are you doing?
Where's the change, right?
I don't know. You're gonna write underneath that thing right by
No.
your hand over there?
No.
Down
See?
and how best to secure the president as he goes to court. This is expected to be a very short thing.
We're looking for our, no, it's not there. We're looking for our TV changer so we can mute the TV. Sorry about that. Is it bothering everybody?
Right now, the plan is for him to be
Well,
presented.
it will when you start to talk about penalty doubles.
Something interesting.
Oh, we found it.
Sorry.
Well, we were just hearing about Donald Trump being indicted
Yeah,
after over 2 years. It seems a little ridiculous that it's taken this long. I mean, either, but anyway, we're not going to talk politics. I will find my my lesson and get it up so we can talk about it.
We're gonna do a lesson now?
Yeah.
You want me to go away?
No, you can stay here.
come join us, Sue.
What?
She said, come join us.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, Sue. It's Judy.
It's Judy. Judy said hi.
Hi, Judy.
Hi.
There we go. Okay, so now if I go back here,
I don't know what something's getting wrong. Do you?
yes, honey, now's not the time to talk about it.
Okay.
Okay, I was hoping Steve would be here because he's the one that requested that we talk about penalty doubles, but he wasn't here last week either. But how come I'm only seeing one of you guys? Oh well. So we're going to talk about penalty doubles.
Okay.
Actually, when I was trying to look into this, and it's really a lot easier to say what isn't a penalty double. In the current way of playing bridge, you just don't use a penalty double and so much on the lower levels. When the bidding gets into the high levels, then it's more likely to be penalty. But we're going to go through these hopefully quickly, but stop me anytime you have a question. So, the first thing we said is a double on the first or second round of bidding is rarely for penalties. And so we're going to start with meaning the opponents open the bidding and with a suit bid of less than 4 spades. So for instance, they open a heart and your partner doubles and goes pass, pass. Well, that's takeout. Partner can convert to penalty. Actually, I should have said the last pass. I should have put a question mark there. I see that there should have been a question mark, but anyway, they're passing for penalty, but normally that's takeout, so they should bid something. I should have put a question mark at the last place there. Now, what if they bid 4 spades or higher? Then it would be 4 spades, double, pass, pass. You should pass that as a penalty double. The conventional thinking is any double of a bid of 4 spades or higher is for penalty. So unless you have something really unusual, you should pass. Partners saying they've got at least 4 tricks right in their own hand, and you should not remove it unless you have a really good reason to. So the next one is they bid an artificial bid, like 1 club or 2 clubs. And again, I did this wrong. 2 clubs double pass. The last pass should be a question mark. That direct seat double is usually conventional, like it could be suction or it could be Capoletti or something like that. Usually people play conventional doubles over an artificial bid. But if you don't, then it's probably lead directing. Or in other words, you probably have values in that suit and you want it led. But you're not necessarily doubling for penalty. Now, what if they open a no trump and it goes 1 no trump double pass? Again, it should be a question mark. That is typically a penalty double. An immediate double of a 1 no trump opening bid shows equal value hand. So now, if partner's really weak but has a long suit, they might want to remove it because thinking that the 1 no trump could make, and so they want to. But generally speaking, if they have 4 or 5 points, they should pass because the no trump opener will struggle to make it and probably won't. So 1 no trump with an immediate double is penalty. But what if they open higher than 1 no trump, like 2 no trump or whatever? So it's usually conventional. And again, on my example, I say 2 no trump double pass, pass. The last piece should be a question. But again, people play suction or they play Capoletti or some other thing.
But your parentheses after that one says conventional rare.
Yeah, I'm saying that it's rare that I mean it's rare that it's going to happen. You generally speaking, when they open 2 no trump, they've got over half the deck in their own hand. So you would generally not want to compete in that auction. I mean, occasionally you do. So the action is rare. I should maybe put that the action is rare. But if you do double 2 no trump, it would be conventional of some sort. You'd have to agree on what your convention is. Does that clarify that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so that covers their opening the bidding. But what happens when they open and it goes pass, pass? So you're in the balancing seat. The example is one spade, pass, pass, double. So now this double is takeout. You are in the back end position. One of the reasons you make a double is you're protecting partner that may not have been able to bid over one spade. Maybe they don't have the values or the distribution, but they have some points, and they, or they might have a stack in spades. In that case, they would convert to penalty. But that is generally just showing probably just under an opening hand or better. And it denies that you have a good suit of your own to bid. I mean, you could have a 5-card suit, but maybe it isn't very robust. So anyway, you're just doubling with support for the other 3 suits and wanting partner to take it out to something. Not penalty unless partner decides that he has enough strength that he can set one spade, knowing you have a few values outside of spades. Okay, so now let's look at competitive auctions, and that's my definition of when both sides are bidding. So the first one is a negative double. Partner opens the bidding and the next player bids something, and then you double. Okay, so this double of yours shows the other 2 suits. So in this example, 1 diamond, 1 spade double, you would have hearts and clubs. And negative doubles are always made by responder. So always they open and the opponent overcalls, you double, negative. And that's considered standard. If you mean that as penalty, in fact, you have to alert. So you should be aware of that. And generally people play that through about the 3 level. I was reading Larry Cohen, and I think he recommends you just play it all the way through the 7 level. And that makes sense to me. So the only thing is that the doubler needs more and more strength as the level gets higher. But you could have either great distribution or even good high card strength, and you make a negative double at those higher levels to let partner know that you have the values, may not have a good call of your own. Okay. Then the next one is the support double, and this again is a standard bid. It's if you don't play support doubles, then you have to alert a double in that situation. So this is an example of a 1 diamond by your partner. They open overcall 1 heart. You bid a spade, and it goes pass, and now you double. So that shows 3-card support. Opener who opened a diamond that promises 3 spades does not say anything else about their hand. They could have a big hand, a weak hand, I mean a minimum opener, but it just promises 3. If they have 4, they can raise spades. If they have,
Wait a minute, Rich. Don't you mean hearts? You don't have 3 in the opponent's suit, right?
no, I mean spades. One
Oh, yeah,
diamond
the
is your
opponent,
partner.
yeah, okay, they bid spades. Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha. I was
right.
looking at it wrong. Sorry.
No,
You're
that's
right.
okay. It's easy to get confused, as you see me doing that quite frequently, unfortunately. So, anyway,
This is gonna be a dumb question. Why wouldn't you just do 2 spades?
well, the reason is it differentiates between 3-card support and 4-card support. So,
Okay.
support double always shows 3. If you raise, it always shows 4. And if you pass or bid something else, you have at most 2.
Okay.
So, I mean, a lot of times when you're in competitive auctions, it's important to know the distribution. It's important to know what your partner has, so it can affect how the level to what you want to compete to. In a lot of cases, the distribution is really more important than the point count, because in some of these competitive auctions, the point count is sort of balanced. So you need to know, do you have a fit or do you not have a fit? Because when you have a fit, you can be very aggressive, and when you don't, you want to be timid. So anyway, people, I think the original definition of support was through the 2 level. So a lot of people play that even higher. Again, this is a suggested or maybe a normal thing is through the 2 level, but some people play it higher. The next one I'm going to talk about in the responsive. This is probably one of the worst ones because it's a little bit tough to know when it's responsive and when it's not. And people have different opinions about it, but basically, you are responding to your partner's double. So it goes a heart by your partner, a heart by the opponent, and your partner doubles, and then the opponent's partner raises hearts, so that double. So that second double is responsive, and it basically says, I've got help for you in the other suits, but I don't have a clear call of my own. I mean, you could have a 4-card minor, but for instance, you probably only have 3 spades. So you could stand for your partner to bid spades because you have 3 of them, but you couldn't bid them, because if you did, you would really promise 4. And if you probably have a 4-card or even longer minor, but it's somewhat problematical, you don't know if that minor works with your partner. So your double just says, partner, I can support any of those 3 suits. You just pick your best one, and that's probably our best fit. And again, this probably goes through the 3 level, but and it's always made in response to a takeout double. And usually it's when they bid and rebid a suit. So it can be when the suit is changed. But for instance, look at this next line where I say, but it's penalty. They open a heart, it goes double, it goes 1 spade, and it goes double. Well, now in this case, they change suits at the 1 level. So this is, a responder is saying, now I have some values and I have spades. They may be trying to steal that suit or the contract. So your double is penalty in this case. But that's why I kind of say responsive is a little bit difficult, because you need some understanding, not only to the level, but does it only apply when they bid and rebid a suit? Is it always penalty when they change suits, or as it gets higher, again, does it revert back to you can support the other 2 suits and it's responsive instead of penalty? It's a little bit not, I'm not going to say not standard, but people play it differently, and you need to be on the same wavelength. But I do believe everybody should play at the 1 level when they change suits like that. That 1 heart double, 1 spade double, that should be penalty. Otherwise, they can just steal that spade suit from you. And that there was a player here in Longview that you could just guarantee if it went 1 heart double, 1 spade, he wouldn't have any spades. He was just throwing a psych bid in there to throw you off balance. But I don't see that too often. I would, just as an aside, this has nothing to do with this lesson, but today somebody psyched against this. I haven't seen a psych in years, I don't think, but they opened a spade with 2 high card points and a 5 card spade suit. My partner did the World's Fair. Luckily, we got the game, but it was kind of like, geez, Louise, what's going on here? And the partner, I think the spade partner actually raised him. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're now down to maximal overcall. This one is also one that may not be played a lot, and it's sort of optional. Maybe you or your partner should discuss whether you want to do this, but it makes a lot of sense. It's basically trying to differentiate between just a competing bid and a game invitational bid. So if it goes 1 spade, 2 hearts, 2 spades, 3 hearts, so your partner opened a spade and they overcalled hearts, you raised their spades, and the opponents competed to the 3 level. Well, now look at if the 1 spade bidder bids 3 spades, is that supposed to be competitive? Is it show extra strength? Is it game invitational? What is it? The way that people work that is that a double now becomes game invitational. And if you bid 3 spades, you're just bidding it to play. You want partner to pass. And if you do double, you're showing extra strength. It's game invitational, but your partner could pass that for penalty if they have a suitable hand. Now, the maximal overcall double are always made by openers, so that's kind of similar to the support double. Okay, any questions so far? Now we're
I
gonna...
wish double cards could be removed from everybody's packets.
Well, it actually makes it quite interesting. And you know, the main, if not the only change they've made to the scoring in bridge over these many years, you know, since it evolved from whist, the only thing they have changed is that a double of a non-vulnerable contract, it goes 100, 300, 500, and then it jumps to 800 because people were just sacrificing, and they could go down 4 and not pay out as much as they would for a vulnerable game. So they changed it to where you go down 4, not vol. It's 800, which is more than a vulnerable game. So that's really the only major change, or any change they've made to bridge in all these years, which kind of speaks well for it, in my opinion. Although they keep monkeying with the alert procedure, and that bothers me a lot, but oh well.
Well, you know, with the alert thing, when you're playing in person, it actually helps the partnership sometimes, because you can think, you know, somebody can say, well, what does that double mean? And you say support double, and your partner's thinking, oh, that's not exactly what I meant. I'm glad I'm getting another chance to bid.
Well, I know, that's why I think you should only ask if you really need to know. And for instance, if the player on your right has made a bid that you're worried about, but they're going to be dummy, and you know, maybe you don't ask about it because you're going to see dummy after the opening lead is made. So, but anyway, there is a big problem with unauthorized information because of the alert procedure. But anyway.
Well, and you can wait before you either I mean, you can pull out the card you're going to lead and ask your partner if they have questions, or you pull out the card and you can ask a question then and get some information.
Exactly, sure. You're always able to ask a question like that. Okay, so in all of the above competitive auction situations, you need to talk with your partner and agree on what level you want to play them, because everybody plays it a little bit different, it seems like. So you just try to agree on how you want to handle it. And keep in mind that vulnerability plays a big part. You know, sometimes you'll double them when they're vulnerable, knowing if they go down one, it's probably a good result. Whereas if you double them not vol and they go down one, it may not be enough to cover the part score you can make. So you have to keep in mind that vulnerability as you exercise the use of a double. So another double, a type of double, is a lead directing double. That's where they bid an artificial suit and you double to indicate you have values in that suit and you'd like it led if partner gets on lead. Typical and often a frequent thing is they open a no trump, your partner passes, your right hand opponent bids 2 clubs, and you double. You're showing values in clubs, and if they end up in whatever, you just as soon partner led a club as anything else. Okay. And that can happen at any level. Whenever they bid an artificial bid or a Q, even a Q bid, which is showing, you know, like an ace or a king, or a singleton or whatever it is, you can double to indicate you'd like that suit led. So partners should always know that when you're doubling an artificial bid, that it's lead directing, but it should show some values in the suit. So probably they're not going to stay there. They'll go back to some other suit. But if they do, you can, you know, pass, and maybe they're playing in their 1-3 fit or something. Okay, that takes care of lead directing. Then cooperative. This is another one. It's a little bit. It's hard to differentiate. Hard to know for sure what's what. But that's when you're not sure what you want to do. You double. Your hoping partner will know what to do. So here's a typical example. It goes 1 spade by, 1 diamond, excuse me. 1 diamond, pass, a spade, and you bid 2 hearts. You have a good hand. And it goes 2 spades by the opener. Partner passes again and goes pass. Now, you probably are short in spades and have support for the other 2 suits and a decent suit of your own, but you don't know if 3 hearts is the right call. So you double, say, partner, do something intelligent. Partner may even elect to pass if they have a good spade holding, and knowing you have extra strength because of the double. So, but again, this is somewhat difficult to know. But like I say, if it's at the 1 or 2 level, you know, usually it's got to be something that isn't penalty, and it's when you get into the higher levels that it can be a little bit confusing. So again, we were supposed to be talking about penalty doubles, and I just kind of threw up my hands and I said, if we've labeled it a conventional double or a cooperative double or a lead directing double or a maximal overcall double, a negative double, a responsive double, a support double, or a takeout double, if it's not one of those, then it's penalty. So really you can see that the penalty doesn't show up too often, but generally, when at the higher level, you come in with a double. If it sounds like it might be penalty, it probably is. But at a lower level, it's almost always one of those things that we talked about. And if partner makes what is clearly a penalty double, like say they open 4 spades and you double, which is clearly a penalty double, or at least it's meant to be penalty, then partner should respect that and pass, unless they have something really unusual, So they have to be on solid ground to remove the penalty double. But sometimes it's hard to know when it's penalty and when it's not. And like I say, it's usually easy at the lower levels to know it's one of these things that we've pointed out, but at the higher levels, it can be a little bit confusing. I wish I could be a little more definite, but you kind of have to learn by experience.
It would be helpful if the double cards had written on them, penalty, takeout, support. That would
Right.
help a lot.
Well, we used to play a game in college, a bridge game. You could use one modifier, So you say, I'm going to open a Flannery 2 diamonds.
Oh,
Or in this case, you could say, I'm going to make a responsive double, or what, you could always use one modifier, but unfortunately, the league frowns on that.
yeah.
So I have a question on that, that psych bid. That's got me interested. Not that I'm going to try it, but is that legal?
Oh, yeah, it's
That-
legal. In fact, it's even more legal, and it used to be highly frowned on, and it sort of is today. But basically, as long as you're not doing it frivolously, and as long as you don't do it repeatedly to where your partner knows about it, if you do it frequently, your partner kind of gets an idea that your bid might not be what it's supposed to be, and that's unauthorized information. So, but generally speaking, I just think it makes a much nicer game. I have made an occasional psych. I mean,
what does it do? What do you accomplish by it?
well, you're hoping that you keep the opponents from getting to the right spot, either the right strain or the right level.
Oh, okay. Huh.
But it's not really. I mean, it's legal, but it's I guess it's still kind of frowned on. But just I wouldn't try it, Randy, especially if you're playing
I'm
with.
not going to try it. I was just curious. Somebody actually would try that.
Right.
No,
Well,
I can see.
I don't know.
it.
It was in the Eugene game, and I'm not sure who it was, but it
No, I
really
wouldn't
kind
have-
of surprised us that they did that.
Yeah, I would think they'd call the director on me if I tried that.
Well, you are supposed to call a director, and so that they keep track, and then if you do it too frequently or too frivolously, then you could have penalties. Like they would give you an adjustment, a score adjustment or something, or you could get in real trouble. I mean, and a club can bar you. If you did it
Right.
at the Longview Club, you did it frequently, I could bar you and say, hey, you can't play because you psych too often.
I would.
All you have to do is say, oh, shoot, I didn't mean to do that.
I said, I learned.
Hey, I got to go, folks. I got to get over to the senior center. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
We'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.